Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
And we're together.
That's
Look at this
right.
love.
Yeah.
We're in Prague, doing tour dates.
Just realized my braces aren't in. I need them to be in.
One
second.
Okay, great. We're in Prague. We got here a couple days ago. Did some sightseeing, a lot of touristy things. And shows. We're doing shows. We got shows.
Yeah. We got here a few days ago. We figured out the buses, trams, automobiles,
Subway system.
That's right.
We assimilate.
That's right.
We have taken every type of public transportation. What has been your favorite thing so far?
I just had an ice cream sandwich. So of course, like my brain's like the ice cream sandwich.
That was one of the best ice cream sandwiches I've ever had.
That can't be right though. Like we saw the big clock. And then like it was built up a lot. Like a lot of people were like, you gotta see the clock. You gotta see the baby. I'm just quoting Seinfeld. And we saw the clock, like, because it does this little show every hour, but the show is underwhelming.
But I think I should have, so I just know it was like on a list of the things we're supposed to do. So I didn't really have much expectations. I assumed it was going to have some cuckoo clock, like, vibes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a clock. I don't think my expectations were all that high. I didn't think it tells the time.
Well, I was like, I was ready to be surprised because I was like, everyone's
There's a crowd.
telling me
There's a
about
pretty big
this
crowd.
clock. So maybe I can't even imagine what I'm about to get. And you can't imagine it. It's not all that great.
It was fine. We did it and we were supposed to do it. We went over, was it the Charles Bridge?
Went over the Charles Bridge,
which is beautiful.
Bridge.
Great bridge. Solid bridge. If I could recommend a bridge. Great bridge. Did all the old town stuff, did some new town stuff. I can recommend a vintage store.
Yeah, bric-a-brac.
So good. We learned so much about so much crap. It was awesome. Yeah, I don't know. We did a lot of walking.
I had a bad burger. We had bad burgers.
We had bad burgers.
Otherwise, the food's been great.
Food's been good. Everything's been.
I feel like pretty. Anthony Bourdain would have been like upset with me
for going for
even going there.
Well, it was for atmosphere, and we knew it was touristy. Maria's the foodie. I could eat gummy bears for breakfast. Like, I don't. I've seen it. Yeah, I have. So I follow Maria's lead when it comes to food, and honestly, everything's been really good. And if it's not good, Maria's the one that will tell me it's not good. I'll be like, oh yeah, of course it wasn't good.
You hate this.
Yeah, you'll never see me again. But that was the first time that I was like, this is unedible. Like, I've eaten a lot of bad food at comedy clubs and didn't even complain. And I was like, I can't eat this.
My sleeves are really aggressive right now. They're like, so.
I like your sleeves.
Anyway, but yeah, it tasted foul, weird. I don't know, couldn't eat it.
Tastes like poison. And so we quickly got out of there, and then we walked around, and then we got ice cream sandwiches, and
that's what we had for lunch.
And that's how you reset.
We're on a sugar high.
Very high. If you ever find yourself disappointed, just find the closest sugar, just honestly, ice cream, candy, hot chocolate, just something to reset.
A child.
What?
I'm just kidding. It did work.
It worked. It was your idea.
Yeah.
We're in Prague.
The show, we've had one show so far. Very fun. Really good audience.
Oh, it was awesome. It was at a hostel. It was I would say mostly probably like traveling people, expats.
Mm-hmm. Hostel.
Yep, great. And then tonight we'll see if it's more like locals. This is my first time in Prague, right? Your first time?
I've never been to Prague before.
I think we did like a great Yelp review of Prague. I think we nailed that.
But just now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Charles Bridge. Go over the bridge. This is gonna be the dumbest thing that comes out of my mouth, and you're gonna have to expect. I don't need to come back. I think I nailed it. Like, I think I nailed Prague. there's some cities that like I want to go back to. Like there's more to see and more vibes, but
I get what you mean.
I don't like, I loved it. I'm happy. We both leave tomorrow. It was a great trip. I have almost no complaints, but like, I don't know. There's certain cities that I'm like, I have to go. I have to go back to Japan. I have to go back to Italy.
Yeah,
I have to go back to the Netherlands.
Right.
I don't have to come back to Prague.
I get that. Once you've seen so many European cities, they all kind of like the things that you find charming in the first few, you realize like all of them have.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to find like the things that are particular to that city. And there's some really great things about Prague. But I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I recommend it, but I don't need to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
We did it. We did Prague.
Sorry, Prague.
Sorry, Prague.
There's so much to me. And we're like, nah.
What are you, old? We're all old. Nobody's impressed with your oldness.
No time to figure out what there is.
But yeah, it was a good trip. I might sneeze. I can't figure if that's gonna happen.
That's okay. Look, nothing's gonna get edited because I don't have time to edit this. So if you sneeze, you sneeze.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is gonna be a little rough because I'm traveling for 3 weeks.
And I'm sure the sound's gonna be shit. The camera's on this. Everyone, I hope you understand.
Everything's gonna be shit right now, but we had ice cream sandwiches and we're in a great mood. And we're finally doing a show at the same time, meaning that we're at the same space. We've had all the same meals for 4 days. We're on the same goddamn schedule, and we're recording at the same time. That never happens. And I'm not like, I didn't just roll out of bed and record this. I mean, I still feel a little foggy because I ate a lot of sugar. But
yeah. Well, you don't seem it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Announcements.
Okay.
Thank you to all our Patreons. Everybody that contributes, supports us. We are beyond grateful. You guys are amazing. If you would like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/2nondoctors. That's 2 non full word doctors, and you can get stickers. You can get early episodes or access to early episodes. You can get weekly bonuses. You can get monthly bonuses. You can control our Googles. You become a Google guest. There are so many fun benefits to supporting us, and it's a double whammy. You support us and you get benefits.
Double whammy is like a negative.
Is it?
I think so. Like a double whammy is like a double bad.
Well, whatever a double good is, that's what you get.
Yeah.
With becoming a Patreon.
If you have time and you're feeling kind, please leave us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a lot. It helps us get seen. We love it. We share it on our socials, and we get really excited to read your reviews. So please do that. And thank you to everybody who's left reviews. You can follow us on the socials. We're on Instagram. Oh no, let's start this way. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at 2 non-doctors. It's the number 2 full word doctors, not forward doctors.
Full word.
Someone thought I was saying full word doctors. And then at Instagram at 2 non-DRS, which is why we emphasize the full word on the other ones. And then my album's either out by now or the pre-sale has happened. So you can get my album on iTunes. You can buy it.
Get it.
Please do.
Go get her album. It's her first album. It's awesome. I've listened to it at least 3 times. Because that's what friendship is.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's an incredible album. Support Maria. And like she said, you could either pre-buy it right now or go out and stream it, buy it, support it.
Don't stream it, just buy it.
Okay, great.
I don't know what streaming. What do you get? Like 5 times? What do you get?
Oh, you get almost nothing, but it's about people listening to you and falling in love with your comedy. Great. Okay, just buy it.
My album.
Oh, we didn't.
A lot of money.
We didn't work for you.
It was self-produced.
Okay, great. Buy Maria's album. Any tour dates?
Just look on my website.
Her website is mariashahada.com. Okay, and I just added a bunch of dates. I think as soon as this comes out that weekend, I'll be in Syracuse, then Cleveland. Then I'm taping my own special April 3rd at New York Comedy Club on 24th Street. The first show is almost sold out. The second show is what you want to come to. Go get tickets. Use the promo code GHOST because that helps me pay for this special, also self-produced, and gets you a discount. And then also I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, a bunch of cities in Michigan, Reno, Sunnyvale, California, San Francisco. Oh, and then I'm doing some Florida shit. I'll be in Pensacola and Panama City in Florida in, I think, August. I'm still working on getting tickets for that. Fan mail?
Okay.
Damn it.
Yeah, so we have, look at this prepared. What the fuck? This is what happens when you actually prepare. We have a fan mail from Judith, and who says, "Hi, Liz and Maria. I love your episode about social anxiety. When I was a teenager, I always thought I'm just shy and a weirdo because I never blended in with my classmates. Over the years, I've learned more and more about symptoms of social anxiety. One time, one of my friends asked if I wanted to be your bridesmaid, which included having to go on a girls' trip with her other friends I didn't know. As soon as she asked me, I felt my anxiety creeping up. Having to go on a trip with people I haven't met yet sounded like pure horror to me. Thoughts that came to my mind were, I don't belong, they won't like me, everyone will notice my anxiety, I'll say awkward things. I just couldn't do it. I never look forward to parties, and if I have to go, I get nervous and uncomfortable weeks in advance. Like Liz said, I would never enter a party alone and wait for my friends outside to go inside together. I'd always try to stay in the background and think of a way to reward myself after the party, like Maria mentioned. I think the greatest challenge is trying to be social with the goal not to die alone, surrounded by my cats. Totally Liz's goal, but okay.
Yeah. Don't steal my goal, Judith.
Mostly, I disassociate with my way through a social event if I have to. It's like watching me from above attending the event. I always find myself being mentally exhausted when coming home. Interestingly, the only event I usually look forward to is going to a comedy show. I love going to my local comedy club, watching stand-up comedy. It's the only thing I feel like I belong as an audience. Thank you for all you do. Love, Judith.
Judith, don't change. We love that.
That's perfect.
Go to comedy clubs.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. It's so fun. I related to everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was just like, oh my God, a bridesmaid parties. Did she say she had to go on a boat? Because fuck all that noise. That's like the word, because there's no escape. A boat, there's nothing, there's nowhere you can go. Like you just have to wait for it to come back to land. And I have to be able to have the option of leaving. Yes. Like I can't go to shows or whatever without, like I have to be on the side or somewhere in the back where I can easily exit if I need to. That's like how I like went to classes, because of just like anything. It could be misophonia, being triggered with misophonia. I don't want to be able to get up and leave, or for whatever reason, I need to know I have an out. And if I'm on a boat, there's no out, and I couldn't, like, I just, that gives me anxiety.
You don't know when it ends. I'm always thinking something's going to happen to boat. It's like I'm going to have a baby Titanic situation. Now I'm stuck on a boat. I think what's hard is because I think we all know, like for me, most of my social situations were work related. Like when we first started doing comedy, what did they tell you? You got to do FaceTime. You got to go to these clubs, got to show your face. And it's like, and then what? Like, I think I've told this on the podcast, but I remember so clearly I wanted to do shows in Tennessee, and I reach out to, this is like, God, over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I reached out to Nate Bargatze and I go, hey, I want to work. I think it was Zanies in Nashville. And he goes, oh yeah, here's the booker's information. Just talk about hockey. What? What? Like, what? Now I have to learn a whole sport?
As if he would talk about anything else like food, and he'd be like, why are we talking about this? So I only talk about hockey.
Yeah, but I was like, gee, and that's almost how I feel about being thrown into a party situation. So they're like, everybody's nice, go to the party. You're like, yeah. But like, it feels like I'll prepare for a conversation, or I'll be like, I'm fun. And then somebody would be like, oh, did you see on the news? And I'm like, no, I didn't look at the news today. And then you're just like, and like now stand up has actually really kind of cut at least 30% of that anxiety off, because I now do have confidence in myself that I can hold a conversation no matter what it is, whether I know about the topic, whether we're talking about hockey, which I still have not learned anything about, to something that is that I care about and I'm excited about. And I have jokes about it. I have a cockiness to believe that I am good at having a conversation. And if the conversation isn't good, I believe that's your fault. But I still, especially when I want to make a good impression, especially when it has to do with work, I am dreading it for weeks and just preparing for it for weeks. Like I have okay, so I used to do, and I'm probably gonna start doing it again, the podcast for the JED Foundation. It's a mental health, it's like a suicide prevention, mental health awareness for teenagers podcast. So I would do it randomly whenever they asked me. And what they do is they pick out some kind of celebrity or somebody known, and then whatever they're going through, and I interview them. So I will do all this research about them. I'll write all these questions. Here's somebody I've never talked to before. There's no pre-interview. And then I sit down with a stranger and I'm just like, tell me about your eating disorder. like what? And I won't be able to sleep for days, because it's a charity, because I care about it, because there's like 3 cameras on me and like, and all these people like believe in me. I've done this now like probably almost a dozen times, and I still am like, this doesn't keep me up at night.
Yeah.
But that will keep me up at night.
Yeah.
So it's like really any social gathering, whether it's I'm supposed to have fun or I'm supposed to just show up and be good at what I'm supposed to do. So I mean, still no advice.
I know I don't have any advice. It's just we all kind of, yeah, we feel that. We feel you, you know, like when somebody included me on a post about international women comedians as like comedians they love. And I was like, oh, I thought you hated me, because I think everyone hates me. I meet people and then I spend the next 5 hours going back on everything I said, thinking that was dumb. I shouldn't have said that. Even when I commented on the post and I was like, this is awesome, thank you. And then with hearts, I was like, was that too many hearts? Should I have said that was awesome? Is it like calling myself awesome? Like I just like went through so much anxiety about my response to a nice thing. Anyway, thank you so much for writing.
No, we appreciate it, Judith.
Yeah.
Googles?
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I was getting ready too fast when I was in Utrecht and I burnt my finger. So, oh no, I'm going to think. Where's my Google? Okay, so I burnt my finger. You can see it. I burnt it on my hair straightener.
Yes, I've done that.
And it really hurt. Like it really hurt. But I didn't even have time to deal with the pain. So it was just like, fucking Liz, like, you know what I mean? God damn it. Like I was so jet lagged and I was just so tired. And then I burnt it. And this is going to sound really dumb, but because my special's coming up and I like really care about my nails, not that anybody's zooming in on a joke, but like, I was like, no, I might be like, almost felt like a hand model that I was like, no, I'm going to lose so much work. So my Google was, how long does it take for a burn to heal? And so it said superficial burns, it takes 3 to 6 days. I'm assuming this is superficial because it was like for 2 seconds and it was like, you can only burn yourself so much on a hair straightener, I would assume. Then it said superficial partial thickness burns. No idea what that means. Usually less than 3 weeks. I'm assuming that's like real like hot liquid kind of stuff. And then it said deep partial thickness burns more than 3 weeks, which I'm assuming is like you're going into a fire. I don't know, but that led me down the rabbit hole of like, well, how can you quickly heal a burn? What should I have done? Because what I did was nothing. I did absolutely nothing. But in the future, as somebody that does use hot things close to their face, I should probably know what to do.
I always got burned on my neck and always looked like a hickey because I would be curling.
I remember that because you would always get really close. Yeah, okay. This is what we're supposed to do. You're very just. Yeah, well, we've never been this close before while doing a podcast. This is what you're supposed to do.
How loud and Italian you are.
I'm surprised I haven't hit you yet.
It's too much.
This is what you have to do. Okay, to quickly heal a burn, you're supposed to like put it under like cool tap water, or apply like a cold wet compress. Do that for about 10 minutes or until the pain subsides, and then you're supposed to apply petroleum jelly 2 to 3 times a day. They say do not apply ointments, toothpaste, or butter to the burn.
My mom always did toothpaste.
Because it may cause infection. I've never heard that before. I never heard any of those. Ointments, toothpaste, or butter.
Butter is weird.
Yeah, butter is weird. Maybe because it's already cold. And maybe, I don't know.
Sounds awful.
It's like when you get like a black eye and somebody puts peas, but it's in a bag. It's a bag of peas. It's not. No, you're not putting individual peas.
Peanut butter on your black eye.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, so it looks really gnarly right now. It doesn't hurt, but it looks ugly and it makes me sad.
Yeah, but you have like millions of rings that you're gonna wear.
I actually started wearing a ring right over it.
There you go.
I was mad at it. So yeah, it should be gone soon. But I also like,
if anyone's paying attention to your finger while you're telling your jokes, like you've done a bad job with jokes.
That's a valid point. But everything's HD now. I feel like you can see inside my pores.
I know, but that'll just make you more endearing. People will be like, she's not perfect.
I'm not perfect. The other thing is on the other finger. This is really dumb. I think I just like my nails and I look at my hands a lot when I'm like nervous. But I had all my books in my luggage, so it was like really heavy, and I was putting it on the upper whatever thing in the on the plane. And I don't know what I did, but it landed on my finger, and I mean like gushing blood. Ugh. And it's gonna be that one's gonna be a scar
on the plane.
Yeah. So do you know what I did?
What?
I'm not gushing blood. Why can't I touch you?
I don't know, because you were just talking about it.
Wow, I'm learning so much about you.
I didn't realize I was so weird about it.
Yeah, you're really flinching. Cool. Feel gross.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
So this is
try again.
Yeah, no, it wasn't convincing. Okay, so what I did was, you know me, I always have that washi tape, and then I had these little because I have very oily skin, I have those like little sheets that absorb oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally took that
you
oil
MacGyvered a Band-Aid?
Yeah, that's
wow.
what I did, because I was gushing.
That is so fucking amazing.
I was pretty proud of it. So thank you to whoever got me addicted to washi tape. I carry it everywhere I go.
They've got like little avocados on it.
It does have avocados on it. Okay, what'd you Google?
Well, because at the shops here, the souvenir stores, you can buy pot, and we were like, what? How's that possible?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think of the Czech Republic or Prague as like legal weed. That's like not.
No, so like you don't think, I mean, you think of Amsterdam when you think like legal weed, but you asked another comedian and they said that it was decriminalized here, but not like legal.
Yeah.
But so I was trying to figure out what was in the shops.
And it was like souvenir shops, like where you would get trinkets,
mugs, or
shot glasses
and pot. And we're like, how's that?
And like a variety, like think like what you would do if you went to LA and you're just like, oh, can I get like breezy day, or I don't know.
That's not bad. That's not a bad like guess of what pot would be called.
Thank you so much.
Breezy day sounds amazing.
I'm looking for breezy day and chaotic night.
Purple carrot.
Okay.
I just went to Reddit, honestly. I was like, they'll be this. So somebody goes, hi, I'm currently visiting Prague and I keep seeing these cannabis cookies and lollipops in souvenir shops. Is any of it legit? I bought a pot of brownies. But if it's any good, I might buy more. I bought a pot of brownies.
I'm sure it means it's like
pot brownies or brownies in a pot with pot in it. Too much pot. Okay, thank you very much in advance. So
don't eat that brownie.
There's only a few responses. I'm going to read all of them. Those are just tourist traps. At best, you buy overpriced green colored food.
That's hilarious.
Amazing. I mean, if they are the next person, I mean, if they are legit, they are also most definitely without THC, which is what I thought. I was like, it looks like it has some CBD in it, but not THC.
Yeah, and some of them would say like CBD and like pot or whatever.
Oh, really? They are supposed to be, next person, they are supposed to be 0.2%, which I naively calculated as 300 milligrams for the 150 gram pack, but I guess not then, that I don't understand. The calculation is correct, but these goods are not just from weed, obviously. They might got some percent of cannabis, but they surely have 0% THC. Don't buy it. And then finally, nope, you purchased the most expensive grass in your life. Legal weed means hemp, so 0% THC. It counts on stupid tourists. Thank you, dude.
Cool. The guy feels really bad about himself.
And that one got 8 upvotes or whatever you call it.
Yeah, it was so weird. I mean, that's how funny is drugs where you're just like, if you don't buy it in an alley, it's not legit. Because I was like, this isn't where you would get it in Amsterdam. So why is it in a tourist thing? And then the comedian that we met here basically was like, it's fake, like it's not real. But I wonder what it like if it does nothing to you, or like because like what are they saying in the US, like that synthetic weed is like fucking kids up, like there's something really
like killing people.
Yeah, or it's being like mixed with fentanyl or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I feel fortunate that I have some street smarts to be like, when something doesn't seem right, I'm not like, ooh, cool. I'm like, nah.
Like I bought a whole suitcase of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna sell it. Yeah, it didn't seem right.
Yeah. So get your pot on the street in Prague.
Yeah. But it was cool. She was telling us that it's decriminalized, so that like she was like smoking a joint outside, but her dog wasn't on a leash, and a police officer came up to her and was like, you need to get that dog on a leash. And she's like, oh, okay. Like I was like, oh, I love that. Okay, so I don't know if I talked to you about this when you were in New York, but we've kind of, I guess weed is eventually going to be legal in New York. It's not legal yet. I don't know how this stuff works, but technically it's supposed to be legal. But I think at the moment it's probably decriminalized because the streets smell like weed. Like I'm not even joking.
In New York?
Yeah,
really?
All the time. It always smells like weed now. I don't care, but it's like, what a difference. Where before it was like, hey, you smell weed? And now I'm just like, yeah. Like,
oh yeah,
because you're not, it's at the very least decriminalized now.
Yeah.
Or at least not penalized, or I don't know, any of the lies.
Yeah.
Let's get personal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get personal. Where do you get your news?
I started The Guardian, and then I realized that The Guardian has gotten all their news from Twitter and other sites. They just like
I thought
repost
The Guardian was like a real publication.
They are, but they just seem to like repost tweets and like just go according to this site, and they like listen to Times Radio and then report on that. And I'm just like, I could just do that. Am I a journalist for The Guardian? I could be an editor, I'll tell you that, because they're always like doubling words on accident and shit. Sorry, I don't know. And then I'll go to CNN to see what's going on in America, which is harder when you're in London, because for some reason, if I go to the like CNN while I'm in London, it'll be like still giving me UK news, and then I don't know how I have to like go and find the US news. And then sometimes I go to Al Jazeera just to see if I can get some sort of different take. And then I, and Twitter, obviously I get my news from Twitter. And that's where I like go to find other news.
I almost get everything. I would say New York Times and YouTube. So YouTube is clearly a conglomerate of like CNN and late night and CBS news. Like it's like all the news. And then like people that like I've been following a lot of like newsy people that will like almost do what the Daily Show does, but then be not funny about it.
Yeah.
Like, so they'll take all these different things that happened that week and then talk about it. And that's kind of almost like somebody reading the headlines more in depth, and like, so I don't have to do it. So I watch the news a lot while I'm making breakfast or doing my skincare regimen. I can't really do it while cooking because I need to focus. So I do a lot of like,
I also get my news from podcasts. So like the New York Times has a podcast, The Guardian has a podcast, Sky News has a podcast. So I listen to all of those.
How long are they?
NPR's podcast. They're anywhere from like 20 minutes to 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, I think there's something about YouTube where they're in like anywhere from 5 to 10 minute chunks. And like, because sometimes I'm like, I just don't understand what's happening right now, and I need somebody to educate me as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I also get my news from Alexa, which gets her news from NPR. I get a lot of news. I'm always reading the news. It's so funny how much news I take in, and I know nothing about anything.
Yeah, I'm starting to know a little about stuff, but also, okay, so do you do this? I'll get obsessed with certain stories. So Matt Gaetz still hasn't been indicted, but I'm obsessed with him being indicted for child trafficking and prostitution or whatever. Basically taking a 17-year-old across state lines and having sex with her. And all these people have like, they've gotten people to say shit about him or whatever, but he hasn't been indicted yet. But anything that comes up, I mean, I've watched 15 stories because I'm like, lock him up. Like genuinely, I'm like, he's a skeevy, awful person in politics that got it because his dad was in politics. Like, fuck him. So like, anything that has to do with like the January 6th committee, anything that has to do with like fucking Trump going to jail or his kids going to jail or him losing money, like I get really excited and I'll watch like 7 news things and any article, like I'll look at the headlines. So like New York Times will send me like kind of like, this is what we're talking about, and I'll look, and then if it's those buzz things, that's what I'm like I get ready, I'm ready, I'm like on the train, I'm like, I hope Matt Gaetz dies in jail. Like I get very excited. So like I also, it's not just I get my news, I pick like 4 things to be like petty about.
Okay.
And then I know too much about it to the point where like, I'm not even joking. Like I could be like waiting to go on stage and some comics over here and they'll be like, Matt Gaetz. I'm like, right. Like I get like crazy, and I'm like waiting for somebody to talk about it with, but like, I'm a little like, I've realized I become obsessed about like vindication.
Okay.
Of monsters in politics. That's where so I went from like barely knowing anything to knowing too much about maybe like 4 things. Like I was telling my dad about Matt Gaetz, and I was like, you should also be rooting for him to go to jail. And he's like, okay,
I guess I'll look him up.
Yeah, please, everybody root for Matt Gaetz to go to jail. He's awful. But yeah, so I do realize that. And then of course the way like a YouTube algorithm works is like you watch one CNN thing about Matt Gaetz and you watch another thing, so then they're like, hey Liz, there's another thing about Matt Gaetz. And I was like, thank
Give it
you.
To me.
Thank you, YouTube. And then it's like the same information. I'm just like, come on, man. It's been like a year and a half. How is he not indicted yet?
Call Matt Gaetz.
Yeah,
ask him directly.
Yeah, I tell him I'm 17.
Be your own journalist. Yeah, I tell him I'm 17.
And then I do still get news from like late night because I like watching.
Oh yeah,
because I like the closer look on Seth Meyers. What I really do appreciate about it is it's funny, but they are again doing that kind of taking all the topics of that day and kind of telling you what's going on. So sometimes I'll hear like just the funny version of it, and I'll go look up stuff on YouTube more about it. So I do kind of use that as like both entertainment and to be like, oh shit, what's going on?
Yeah,
what happened? But I still like. I genuinely like watching Seth Meyers. I used to love Stephen Colbert, but it's just kind of.
I never really liked him. My dad loves him.
I loved him when he was his old show, The Minority Report.
Colbert Report,
The Minority Report. It's a different show. But yeah, Colbert Report I loved. So, but I still love him, but like it's not a good show. But like again, it's just something. I'm taking my makeup off and
yeah, when I get out of the shower, I listen to NPR because the news, for whatever reason, I think my Alexa's connected to my US Amazon account. So the news comes up for the US. So like I'll spend the morning reading The Guardian for the UK news, and then I'll get the US news from that. So like I'll just be getting ready, listening to that.
Isn't it funny, like you said, like the newspaper outside your hotel room, or like, I used to get the newspaper when I was in college.
Miss that.
I don't love that I read stuff on my phone, but I also like I could never figure out how to fold the paper so you weren't like on the train, like
you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my, people do that, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's so crowded in here. You can't go full spread eagle on your newspaper. You can fold it up and read it that way, but you can't do that. You can't do that.
No, you're a monster. You're a monster.
Yeah.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
Is there a free New York newspaper anymore?
I wouldn't know. You would know that.
But I remember this from the UK. There was that free UK newspaper, and they would always just recycle it by putting it at the
Standard,
back.
yeah.
Do they still have that?
Yeah.
Do you still see it?
Very much.
Oh.
People share. It's so cute because people share on the tube. They read the paper and they fold it up nicely and put it on the seat for someone else to read. And I would always think it was junk. I'm like, they just left their junk, but that's to share the paper. That's what people do. Because I'm used to New York, where you take an AM New York or whatever, you take it, you read it, and you fucking toss it, and it's now garbage. No one else is going to touch that. Like, ew. But for the UK, that's for someone else to then read.
Yeah, they used to leave it when it had like, because it kind of had like a little ledge in the back, and they would like leave it there. And then there was a guy that would like collect it at the end of the stop, at the end of the train stop. I just realized I haven't seen like an AM New York in years.
Maybe they stopped it. That's really sad.
Maybe it's just online.
There was a guy on the Upper West Side who used to like sing AM New York, like this AM New York song every morning. I'd walk by him. I love this song. He was like AM New York. I don't remember it. When
you started it, I was like, "There's no way you know what's going. You're just gonna say the name."
I wrote a poem about him. I could probably find the poem, but
right.
I can't remember the song.
All right, you ready to get into this topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
We thought this would be so appropriate. Our topic this week is travel on your body, the effects it has on your body, why it does what it does. And I've mostly been complaining about it. How do we want to start this? I could start.
Okay.
I mean, no, I was gonna say I could start with what's just going on with my body now, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Well, this is my thought. So I started this European tour a week ago. I've done some traveling, but like clearly, and it's not the longest travel I've ever done, but clearly 6 hours is more than the 2-3 hours I've done. I mean, I guess going to LA, I've done that, but this is the most kind of dun traveling I've done in 2 years. And then my friend Adrienne is actually doing a world tour where she's literally every day or every other day somewhere else. And she's dealing with like her feet being swollen and just being uncomfortable and having headaches. Like my neck hurts right now. And I had really bad jet lag, like the worst jet lag I've had for Europe, because like I've done Japan or Pakistan or just some of the like Asia, and it's been off like really hard, but like that makes sense because of so many time zones. I've never had Europe just mess me up like this. And I can't figure, like, for most of it, I couldn't figure out. I was like, is this because I'm getting older? Is this because my body hasn't done this time zone dance in a while? Because I was coming to, I was going overseas at least 2-3 times a year. And then I didn't do almost any traveling, get on any plane, let alone leave time zone. So I wonder if it's like drinking, where like, I'm actually scared.
You don't have a tolerance anymore.
Yeah. So like I quit drinking, I think when I was 29, I can't remember. And it was for my stomach. And so I've thought about having it again, but I'm so scared being in my mid 30s that like I'm going to have a drink and it's going to like murder me.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Because I'm older and I have no tolerance.
Yeah. There's no reason to. Don't have a drink.
No, my skin looks so good.
I know exactly.
What were you looking up for?
So we because we often do the same research, I was like, let's split it. So I looked up like travel effects on the body as far as like being on the plane and like what that does to your body, like how it dehydrates you and stuff. And then you did jet lag.
Yeah.
And I think we were supposed to both talk about water in other countries, but I didn't. I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot to.
Okay, cool. So we'll just do travel effects on the body. So do you want to talk about your jet lag first?
Yeah. So, okay. Just in general, I think we all know what jet lag is, but it just happens when your body's natural clock, like your circadian rhythm, is disrupted by traveling to different time zones. So they actually say the more time zones you go through, the longer it's going to take for you to get over your jet lag. And your body follows this internal clock to perform specific biological functions. So it's not, I think we kind of all know that when you're sleeping, there's a purpose. It's like, yes, it's physical rest, but this is when your body isn't dealing with all the other crap. It's just getting everything done so that you can restart the next day. That's actually one of the reasons why I've started to do intermittent fasting. I don't know how to say that.
Intermittent.
Thank you. Fasting, because in general, if you eat and then go to bed, your body's digesting when it's supposed to be doing all this other stuff. So they say like some of the things your body's doing when it's sleeping, it's releasing hormones that help you sleep, or it's increasing your body temperature to help you like wake up and start your day, as well as like all this other healing stuff. So when all that stuff gets out of whack, it doesn't know how to handle it. I remember going to Japan, it was like normal kind of jet lag where like you would just be wide awake when you're supposed to be sleeping. And then I don't think we slept as much, but I remember this so clearly. I came back from Japan and I came back, let's say like 1 p.m. And I told Prakash I would get dinner with him the next day. So 7 p.m. the next day, I was going to get dinner with Prakash. I went to bed at a normal hour. Let's say I went to bed at like 11 p.m. the day I got back from Japan. And I missed 4 calls from Prakash because I woke up 11 p.m. the next day.
Shit.
Just slept through dinner, I slept through the entire, I've never had that. And you know me, I get up to pee.
I'm surprised you didn't think you were dead.
I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
Because I could not figure out what day it was.
Oh, fuck.
Because it was 11 p.m. again. And I was like, I slept for 24 hours. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. I'm a peer. I pee a lot. I don't know what, my body was just like, we don't have time for this. Like it was so disordered. I thought I was in a coma. Like I really, like I called Prakash and he's like, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's not okay.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So like, I've never slept like that before. I've never been like lights out. Like, I didn't even have good curtains. Like I live off a highway. Like there was no reason for me to have slept that well, but that's how like, I don't know, messed up. But, so some symptoms of jet lag. Honestly, it's just basically
when I go home to the East Coast, like I don't get back on like a East Coast time zone. I'll like stay on London just because I'm like, oh, I'm just here for a week. Fuck it. Yeah. And so like I'll go to bed at like 8 p.m. and then wake up at 4 or 5, get some writing done. I treat it like a writing retreat, but it really makes it hard to socialize because people are like, you want to get dinner? I'm like, that is way past my bedtime. Like
7:30.
Yeah,
I can't do that. Yeah. Do you want to get coffee at 5 a.m.?
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm there. I'm good.
I I don't know. I think that's what's kind of throwing me off about having jet lag while here. I've just never, and the other thing is like, and this is one of the things they tell you with jet lag is to kind of early assimilation to that time zone, so you don't have to do much work. But weirdly enough, I always kind of take like a red eye, stay up all day, and then I'll do shows that night, so it'll put me on my normal night schedule, which is if I'm performing at 11 o'clock, I'm going to bed at like 1 or something. That's what time. So I'll be super tired, but that didn't happen. I did exactly that, and I kept waking up at 2 a.m.
What, this time?
Yeah, almost every night. You know what got me on the schedule?
What?
I was doing such late shows that I was going to bed at like 2, 3 in the morning when I was normally waking up.
Okay.
And so I was still waking up pretty early, but I was able to get like 6 hours of sleep as opposed before I was getting like 2 or 3.
Okay.
But I guess what's shocking to me is like I was having like going to Japan jet lag for Europe, and I never experienced it
Yeah, I
before.
wonder if it is a tolerance thing.
I lost my jet lag tolerance.
You can't travel anymore.
But just so you know what it is, it's tiredness, fatigue, drowsiness, irritability. I think this is just who I am. Feeling slightly disoriented, confused, lethargic, minor gastrointestinal issues like getting an upset stomach or diarrhea, excessive sleeping, or insomnia. And I would say it's mostly insomnia and irritability.
Yeah.
Very irritable.
I've heard your stomach, little gastrointestinal stuff.
Okay, great.
That sounds like mine too. My stomach's like, my stomach is very vocal. But I was also on a plane to Prague, so maybe it's from that. Which brings me to mind.
I would love to hear about it.
So the travel, like travel effects on the body as far as planes go. Because you said that you get bloated when you get off a plane.
I do. My ankles are like swollen, and like also I kind of almost a little bit dehydrate myself on top of probably what the plane is doing because I'm in a window seat and I want to sleep.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right. And then of course buying water at the airport's like $14. So you know what I mean? So there's a little bit like I don't want to get up to pee, and the plane itself dehydrates you. So I also wonder if I'm just like doubly dehydrating myself.
Absolutely. So jet bloat is a change in air pressure may cause gases in your body to expand. So that's another thing. It's the air pressure is causing the gas to get wider. Yeah, you're actually expanding. So like don't drink carbonated beverages. Also staying seated for many hours causes bloating. And then I wrote, Google why. So staying seated for many hours causes bloating. Dehydration causes bloating. And that was another thing I had to Google. Airplane cabins have very low humidity levels. Because about 50% of the air circulating in the cabin is pulled from the outside, and at high altitudes, the air is almost completely devoid of moisture. This might cause your throat, nose, and skin to feel dry. So that's causing part of your heat dehydration is there's no humidity in the air that's being circulated. In airplanes, as they ascend, the cabins get very low humidity, low water moisture in the air that causes noses to dry up. I've just said the same thing. So by not properly hydrating like you're doing because you don't want to get up to pee, which is totally understandable, the dryness can predispose you to get viral infections with potential of having breaks in your throat. It reduces the mucus lining so that you're more susceptible to bacteria and viruses.
Yeah. And then you're like in the small cabin with 90 people.
Yeah. And also the air pressure empties your energy tank because the air pressure is lower at higher altitudes, which means your body takes in less oxygen. So again, the less oxygen you're taking, I guess it's not again, the other one was humidity, but this time it's oxygen. That leaves you feeling really lethargic, puts stress on your ears. I'll get back to that. Hold on. So let's talk about like blood clots. So like you said, your ankles get swollen, but it's because you're in a seated position and all that blood is kind of pooling up in your ankles. This is why people wear compression socks to help the circulation so that your heart doesn't have to work as hard to get your blood to come.
I think I'm at the age where I'm ready to get compression
socks. You might
socks.
Have to.
I really feel that way.
We are so sexy.
I have extra jet lag and I need something to hold my ankles in place.
Yeah. So sitting still in a confined space for long periods of time, the longer you're immobile, the greater your risk of developing a blood clot too. So compression socks come in, they improve the blood flow in your legs, and then it helps your heart again not have to work as hard. And then it takes Compression socks increase blood flow by placing pressure on veins in your feet and legs. The arteries that take oxygenated blood to your feet and calves can relax and let blood flow freely, and your heart doesn't have to work as hard to bring that blood back through the veins. And this helps keep blood near the heart and head and prevents swelling in the feet. It can also keep people who stand or walk for most of the day from having achy feet. So, but basically, like, you should move around if you have a long flight.
Yeah, but like, I've known that forever and I don't do it. I want a window seat. I want to sleep. Even if I don't want to sleep, I don't want to get up. I don't want to be that person that's pacing. You know, that person that's like doing gymnastics in the fucking aisle. Again, if you have a baby, you do what you got to do to make your baby happy. There's no judgment on that part. But like, we all know the person that's like,
what's wrong with that person?
The pacer?
Yeah.
You're telling me that's not distracting somebody pacing up and down or somebody fucking doing yoga in the aisles?
Do people do yoga in the aisles?
I've seen yoga in the aisles. I go to LA.
They're Americans. Fucking Americans.
So, and I get it because they're not wrong. Like,
yoga in the aisles is wrong. Pacing fine, but it's like, what do you like doing a downward dog in front of someone's face? Like, how can you do yoga?
They were doing like stretch. I'm being slightly exaggerating, but they are doing stretches. And I also get the stretches because I'm in pain. You know what we might have Googled it. I think it's an old Google. I get really intense knee pain, which has to do with like not moving my leg, like my leg being in that stagnant position and not moving it, and then I think like kind of the pressure, then probably dehydration, then swelling. It sucks getting older. And what's crazy about it is we don't look old, but I think my body's old. I think it's brittle.
Yeah, maybe you are. I mean, you've always been physically very weak. It's just emotionally, you're the strongest person I've ever met. Physically, you're a wimp. I've said that before. I stand by it. Oh, well, don't frown. It makes me sound like a monster. Okay, so the water thing, like, you want to drink water when you fly, like, stay really hydrated, but you don't want to drink the water on board. So
it has to be bottled water, like genuinely.
You told me yesterday that drinking coffee and tea on board is not good for you. It's disgusting because they use the onboard water. And they haven't cleaned out Googled that. Yeah. They never clean out the water tanks, and like flight attendants are like, we would never fucking drink this ever. Ever. And then the things that make the coffee, those are never cleaned out either. I've never died from drinking coffee or tea on a flight. Like, I do think you can be overly cautious. Like, I don't know if my immune system is a fucking tough as nails, like, incredible Hulk of a system, because I went to Egypt when I was 3 and I got all this stuff and fucking bacteria and shit in my system out of the way. But I think you can have coffee and you'll be fine.
I don't know, man. Like, the fact that we have like an ABC system for like New York restaurants, and most of these flights would fail that.
Yeah, they do say 1 in every 8 planes fails the agency standard for water safety, and the machines are rarely cleaned.
Yeah, so. Bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Just get me from point A to point B. I don't need it. I don't need a Starbucks cup of coffee on my plane.
I do.
Okay. But I heard that maybe like a couple of years ago. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink tea. And I'm just so scared that's going to fall in my lap. Bad things have happened with water. I don't need it to be hot. So I don't do that, but somebody said that and I never forgot it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that people say that you never forget, and then you just never do it again. Like when somebody told me about the tumor in the chicken, and then you go, that's it for fried chicken for me.
Yeah, I'm never having that again.
I'm yawning so much. It's your jet lag. Let's stay on topic.
I did. I actually had trouble sleeping last night.
Was I snoring or anything?
I don't want to talk about that publicly.
Really?
Yeah, you snore. It's not bad. As somebody, I had a boyfriend that I told him he was a monster. I like genuinely, I was like, I love you, but you sleep and you're a monster.
Yeah.
You're a monster. And I would like research all the different ways. I did. I held his face and I was like, you beautiful man. You go to slumber and you transform into a beast.
Do you think it's like the Invisalign, or have I always just forever?
It's not bad. It's dainty, but like I got woken up a couple of days ago because of there's like minor construction. It wasn't even made. It wasn't like it was like it was like just like drilling or pounding very faintly away, but it's rhythmic. And there's something about like it's like when water drips and it's like it drives me nuts. So it was kind of faint construction. I was like, I can't sleep anymore, and I woke up at 7:30. But like last night, sometimes I think about being like, Maria. You get Spanish in my head when I'm just like, Maria. But sometimes I'm like, it'll end because it's not bad. I've had worse.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just like, I told you when we woke up this morning, I had some weird dreams. I had like, talk about anxiety. I had anxiety dreams about moving my car for street cleaning. First of all, my car is in New Jersey. It's nowhere near New York. I don't need to move my car. But I think my body knew it was a Wednesday.
Yeah. I can see that.
Because Wednesday is when I move my car for street cleaning.
So your body's like, hey,
guys,
you have that internal clock for bullshit in your life. Sucks.
I just realized that, oh my God, my body was just like, I wonder. No, it wasn't the right time. It would have been very early, but still my body was like, it's Wednesday. You need to move your car. I had the most boring, panicky dream about moving my car for street cleaning.
Yeah.
It's a $40 mistake. And my body was like, we can't do that. It's so funny. So have you ever flown first class?
No, I've flown business.
Can you lay down in business?
I can't remember. I have never laid down on a flight. It would be nice.
I've flown first class twice. I got an upgrade just for like a short flight, and they gave me, this was like maybe 15 years ago. My dad was even like, because I told my dad, he's like, I've never flown first class. And I was like, you should do it because I'm a princess. Like, but they gave me like the sandwich and it was so good. And then they gave me a warm cookie and I was like, being rich is awesome. Like it was, I forget what it was. It was like the points. There was something about points where it ended up being like cheaper to be first class. And you're just like, all right. And it was awesome. I had an awesome sandwich. That's all I remember. And people were so nice to me. They're so nice to you when you're rich, for that day, for that hour. And then me and my ex went to Japan, and it was the same thing. It was only like 5,000 more points to fly first class, and you could lay down, and it's Japan.
Yeah, of course.
And it was awesome. They gave you nuts. They gave you ice cream. You could lay down. The screen was bigger. It was awesome. I need to get back to that level of.
That would really spoil me. It would be really hard to go back to coach after that.
Oh, no shit. And then I did like 3 other flights where you're like, and it's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for compression socks.
Okay. Let's find you some cute ones, maybe with some cats on it.
That might be too aggressive. I don't want to scare people, but like maybe a fun color.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm ready for compression socks. I definitely think I brought Xanax with me, and I have this melatonin that is like dual release. So like it helps you fall asleep and then it helps you stay asleep. I try not to use it, but I was so jet lagged that I used it and it really did help me get on the schedule. But I think I need to start doing like day one drugging myself. I think I'm really becoming a white lady, like full-fledged white lady.
I believe that.
Speaking of construction, you hear that banging? No? Okay.
I mean, I heard it for a second.
Okay. But... what do I want to learn? I guess, if there's any like tips, like they give some tips for like jet lag specifically of like what you're supposed to do, which is like get on the clock and eat your first meal should be the meal time of where you're going, and exercise when you get there. I'm wearing my exercise pants that I probably packed for no reason, like just to get it in the rotation because it is not being utilized. But I don't know if there's any, like, there's got to be somebody that listens to us that are like a hardcore traveler, like those people that like genuinely are on a plane every 3 days.
Yeah.
What was that George Clooney movie where he was like, it was all about like his status on the flight?
Was it The Terminal? No, that was, first of all, Tom Hanks, I think.
This was like 10 years ago.
Was it Up in the Air?
I think so.
Because there was Up, but that was like the Pixar film.
No, this is Up in the Air. I think you're right. Up in the Air. But it was all about how like he didn't really have a home, and it was all about his status, like his airline status. Yeah. Which I want that life.
I do too.
Yeah. I want to be treated better because of my airline status.
I want free shit, and I want to be able to lay down on a flight.
Yes.
But you ever just walk through first class on your way out of the plane? You're like, what do you guys do up here? It's a mess. Just go, I'm done with this drink. And they just throw it.
Yeah, they're always so aggressive about collecting our trash, but you're right. The trash in first class is always like
First class is always a
or are they allowed to litter? Are you allowed to litter?
Frat party mess up there.
Yeah. Tell us about your jet lag stories. Tell us about your flying stories. You can write to us. Where can they write to us, Maria?
You can write to us at twonondoctors@gmail.com. That's 2 non full word doctors@gmail.com. And thanks for being tolerant of this visual audio shit.
We're doing the best
we're getting back to it, but yeah, we're doing the best we can.
We're together.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.